from Cebu province.
Hi, maayong adlaw. I'm Steffi Rose Pearson Abirastri, proudly representing Cebu province. So things that you should know about me is that I'm an island girl. So I really enjoy swimming with the fishes. I even saw a pregnant seahorse, and at the same time, I swam together with treasure sharks. Can you imagine that? Aside from that, I love visiting the farms, and I even vaccinated thousands of chicks. And lastly, I'm a Sinulog dancer and a woman of God. So that's it about me. Thank you so much.
So Steffi, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your beauty and why?
For me, I rate my beauty of course, 10. I'm really blessed at what God has given me and also my parents because of that. For me, beauty is about being comfortable with your own skin, like knowing and accepting who you are. For me, that's really beautiful. And beauty is skin deep. It's not just about the physique, but it's what's really in here. For me, that's beautiful. That's why I rate myself 10. Thank you.
Do you think there should be stricter censorship on social media because of widespread misinformation, defamation, and cyberbullying?
For me, I totally agree with that. With now me as a social media person, as a queen plus tindera, I've always been into social media. And it's really important for me to filter what I post and what I share. And now people are taking advantage of the disadvantages of social media. Like, we have to remind ourselves and put a borderline for us not to hurt other people. And remind that to make use of the social media the way it is designed.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
Okay. This pandemic, I've encountered so many problems, but I rose up and stand with this challenge. With this pandemic, I learned so many things, like the value of communication. Before, I never really asked someone, how are you doing? But with this pandemic, people mean so much to me. That's why with this pandemic, communication, life, and time itself is so important for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Steffi. Up, we have Victoria Velasquez Vincent from Cavite.
Hi, I'm Victoria Velasquez Vincent, representing my beloved Cavite. I am an architect and a heritage conservationist, and aside from being a lover of all things visually creative, I'm also a lover of poetry and anything underrated. So whether it be the food that people typically don't like or the places less traveled, you will always find me going against the grain. I am a Virgo, and the epitome of a Virgo at that, which means I'm obsessed with being organized and solving problems and nurturing the growth of those around me. Fun fact, you will never find anyone with a better memory than me. Whether it's your birthday, your phone number, or what I had for Christmas lunch in 2012, you best believe I will never forget it.
Victoria, would you rather be an Olympic gold medalist or Miss Universe?
That's a hard question because either way you are bringing so much pride to your country. But for me, I would have to say I would rather be Miss Universe because the prestige that lasts with Miss Universe is so much stronger than what lasts with an Olympic athlete, in my opinion. And with Miss Universe, you only have to do it once and you bring so much pride to your country. Whereas with being an Olympic medalist, you have to keep improving. Every year you have to do better and better. So for me, yeah, I think I'd go with Miss Universe, but also because...
Now, global warming has caused dramatic climate changes worldwide. As a beauty queen, how will you help in protecting our environment?
It starts with the changes that you make in your own personal life and then extending that and using the platform that we have in Miss Universe Philippines to encourage other people to do the same thing. So for example, for me, I have actually converted to being 90% vegan because I know that animal agriculture contributes to so much of the issues that climate change causes. And so even that minor change, I know I'm contributing to such a large issue, and I know that I can use my platform to encourage other people to do the same.
How has the pandemic challenged you?
Above all else, the pandemic has challenged me in a way that has made me both stronger and more independent. I spent the first year of the pandemic in New Zealand and had the privilege of having that safety and security, but I still chose to sacrifice all of those things and relocate to the Philippines in January. And if there's anything that journey taught me, it's that you might need to make some sacrifices along the way, and you might need to give up on so many things and let go of so many things in your life, but you should never let anything, not even a worldwide pandemic, get in the way of your dreams.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank you so much too.
Hi everyone, I am Loren McNair Bautista. You can call me Loren. I'm 28 years old and I'm representing the province of Laguna. You might find my name unique because I find it different also. It is a combination of my parents' name, Les from my mother, Leticia, and Ren is from my father, Efren. I feel like I am the only Loren in the universe. Speaking of my parents, they are both full-blooded Filipinos, and I was born and raised here in Los Baños, Laguna with a very traditional Filipino household. Growing up, I was given a chance to enjoy playing outdoors, but not in your typical backyard setup. Naglalaro at tumutuloy ako sa tabing riles, sumasakay ako sa trolley, tumatakbo at umakit ako sa...
Given the power to change a personal experience, what would you change and why?
Given the power to change something, I believe I would not change anything. Because with all the experience that I've learned all throughout my life, I gained something from it. I realize and realize and do something about it. And I feel like I don't need to change anything because I learned a lot from it and it makes me who I am today.
The pandemic has brought about widespread unemployment. Should a family with children with very limited resources spend it on food or on education?
I personally feel like we don't need to choose between the two because food and education are both important in our daily lives. So I feel like having that enough food for ourselves, it gives us enough energy to really study for our education in our future.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
You know what? I am a COVID survivor and it really changed my perspective in life. My mom also got COVID and it's really hard because she's already a senior and I feel like I cannot live with my mother. So this pandemic really made me realize how life is important and how family is important to everybody, and we should take care and do not take advantage of the time that we have with our families.
Hi Voltaire! So hi everyone, I'm Janella Joy Walden. I'm 24 years old and I'm proudly representing the province of Albay. After having chickenpox last year, I fell in love with taking care of myself. Name it. Skincare, working out, meditating, kind self-talk, I do it. I'm also someone who's very purposeful with my use of time. So during the pandemic, I finished 2 online Harvard courses. I also worked on my skill in the kitchen as I'm the family chef. And the rest of my time, I devoted training and preparing for this pageant. And right now, here I am going after my dream and reaching for the universe.
If you could be any historical person in the world, either dead or alive, who would you be and why?
I would want to be Jose Rizal. You know, he raised, because of him, we reached our independence in the Philippines. And I admire his courage and determination. He fought for what he thought was right. And I would want to do the same.
How do you feel social media affects our children today?
You know, I'm someone who's very careful with how I use social media. I understand that it could easily influence our opinions and thoughts about certain issues. And so I would want the children of today to be wary or cautious of how they use it so they can form their own opinions about social media and not be easily influenced by it.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
You know, I tried to see things in a very positive way. So during the pandemic, I made sure that I used it on myself to develop whatever it is that I needed to work on. So like I said earlier, I enrolled myself in different classes. I worked on my skill in the kitchen. And that has been always my mantra in life, to make sure that I'm better. And after this pandemic, I am going to ensure that I come out as a better Janella. And so really, it wasn't more
from Ilocos Sur.
Hello everyone, my name is Camille Quinola, representing Ilocos Sur. Among my friends, I am most famous as Ginger because I have this very huge ginger-like feet and you can clearly see it when I wear my strappy heels. Also, I am a registered nurse and I take pride when I say I give the best injections ever. But the irony is, when I am the one receiving the injections, I am such a crybaby. And lastly, I am also the one who has lost her authority in my mom's kitchen because the last time that she asked me to cook for some rice, I ended up destroying her favorite rice cooker and messing up the whole kitchen. I just
If you could appear on your very own TV show, what would it be about and why?
If I would be appearing on my own TV show, I would focus on public health. Because as a nurse, I think now that it's time that we put priority on health, on our body, on our wellness. Because in this time of pandemic, our health is really our wealth. So yes, I will focus on health.
With many OFWs returning to the Philippines, how do you think this would affect their lives and the lives of their families who have depended on them?
I think that is one thing that is very hard because this OFWs is working so much just to give the future or just to give a life to their families, and I really salute them for that. And I think that they can find creative ways here in the Philippines, just like we have our country has been very rich in natural resources, and we can all find creative ways and just find our right job here.
Lastly, how has the pandemic challenged you?
It has challenged me to a lot of things, most especially in my career as a nurse, because the first time that they asked me to be assigned in a COVID facility, I first refused because of the fear of contacting the disease. But as I realized that this pandemic has strengthened my personality, because I now realized that if we let our fears be greater than us, then we will do nothing progressive in this country. Thank you.